Most of us are shot listing wrong. We're gonna fix that today. I'm gonna show you how quickly in like 10 minutes you can build a full edit to know exactly what you wanna shoot without ever having to go out there and shoot. What we usually do is we go find beautiful cinematic moody images and we place them in our treatment or on some sort of mood board and we say, yeah, that's what I want my film to look like. But there's three main things that this overlooks. One, your budget. You don't have Brad Pitt and most of the reference images you're pulling from are from scripts completely unrelated to your project. Secondly, there's no movement. Inherently, when you're creating a commercial, it's all about movement. It's the visual medium of motion. And then thirdly, you're actually forgetting, does this edit? Will these shots go together? When I've done more previs up front, it has absolutely blown open the doors on my creative freedom on set. I really found this to be true when I did that Molson Canadian spot back in the day where we had half an hour in a factory to shoot an entire spot. So we shot the whole previs ahead of time. But you don't always have the advantage of previs. So there's some new tools I've been using to actually build my films ahead of time. And it's not AI, guys. Thankfully, it's not AI. It's real life. So let's jump into this. So we're going to be using FrameSet here. What makes FrameSet different than the other image libraries out there is they're mainly looking at commercial, music video, short film, and there are some movies, but other kind of platforms would more so focus on feature films, which is cool. It's beautiful. It's inspiring. But for most of us, we're working in that corporate video, commercial, lower budget tier. And that's what's really helpful with FrameSet is it's kind of a level or two above where you're at, but it's attainable work if you're looking to pitch commercials. There's one key feature I want to just explore right now, and that's this image type. So when I'm doing my shot listing, before I look at stills, I click on motion because again, like I mentioned, we're in the world of building films and films are motion. This is where I like to start. This is where the inspiration will lead for me. Typically for my pitch decks, like this is one for the C-Bum film. These are images I've already taken in my film and I'm trying to show a wide variety of different moments. He's in hospital, he has his family, we see him on stage. But none of this is really helpful if you're trying to show once you've won a bid, what we're actually going to shoot. So let's just make up a project here so that we have an actual premise. And I was recently looking to pitch on something on a running commercial, but why don't we take it a little bit further? Let's say it's like a runner who's athletic and we're mirroring that against a car saying that, you know, as you take care of yourself and become more athletic, you have higher performance. So same goes with this car engine. It's been taken care of by this company and designed articulately so it's fast. That's the premise. Instantly here, you know, this was the first thing that came up here, this Dick's Sporting Good. I can just click similar search and see more moments around this. So I'm starting to vibe here on this kind of ocean vibe. I want to see more of this, but I do like him sprinting here. So let's add this to a new project. Let's create a project. This is car and runner. Create the set. Just going to refresh that so it comes up. So we have car and runner. I'm adding that. I don't mind this moment. Oh, that's actually kind of cool too from behind. I really like this tone here. The teal and orange, I'm going to click to similar search. And now we're getting some more water moments. Okay, this is cool. I could see this as an opening shot if we're showing a runner going along the water. I'm going to come back here to the projects now. I'm going to quickly show you that rather than just selecting a bunch of random stills, I can come to car and runner here and immediately see what feels like a timeline. So we're going to start with this. Then why don't we start seeing the runner's feet coming into motion here? And then we could cut to the person actually wide running through the water. Archive frame. We're going to archive frame. So right away, I can begin to see if my ideas, these frames cut, if they would actually move together to create premise. And I kind of feel like maybe I don't want to go this wide this early. Maybe after I see these feet there with the sand being kicked up, that I would actually want to kind of cut to the car for a moment. So kind of the point I'm getting at here is I need to see things in motion. The stills help, and then I can also build this in stills because I can easily click on any one of these projects. I'll just click here, go to title, and I can go through this whole spot here and begin to see what they've done with the stills. Like this is even a more interesting way to perhaps start with the piece, start with a really huge wide. Maybe we're hearing the sound of the car revving, and then we could cut to a tight. And full disclosure, FrameSet has sponsored this video. I reached out to them because I've been using them as a platform. We happened to do a whole in-depth dive in them in our Cinepath Pro course, and I was working with Nick Plucky, and he showed me all these features that I haven't been using. So it's kind of totally changed the way I've begun shot listing. I found now that I watch a bit of the motion, it's at least inspired me to understand, do I want to be on tripod? Do I want my camera moves to be very quick? Do I want to be whip panning? It would help me decide more of those small things on the day, because I was finding I'd get to set, would be working with DPs, or I'm the DP myself, and I'm now suddenly thinking, how do I want to move the camera? Where's the subject going to be? But having more than just a still has helped me identify how the camera is actually going to exist on set, and does it work for the story? Another strategy you can use with these test edits is to actually make one to pitch a new client that you haven't landed yet as a contract. This is a great way to show them what something could look like for them. And this is actually one of the strategies we talk about in our fully booked PDF. This is a free resource. You can download it down below. We'll put a link in the description. And these are our top 5 strategies for getting new clients. And it's not stuff like writing cold emails. They're genuine ways to engage with people you haven't worked with yet and to pitch them new work. These are the strategies I've been using to grow my business for over 12 years now. So that link to that PDF that's down below, it's a free resource. You can download it and it gives you a detailed description of what to write, the template emails, how to actually pitch a client on this work, not just saying, hey, I'm a videographer in your town. There's a little more to it. Now I've established a bunch with the running shots, but I kind of want to get more with the car. And as you can see, I've typed in car here, but we're just getting a lot of different car commercials. What I'm not wanting is nighttime, because we want to kind of stay in that beach tone. So I can come to my filter here and do time of day. And I'm going to say I want sunset, dusk, dawn, sunrise. It's kind of just all the magic hours, just not day and night. And oh, nice. Now we're getting somewhere. This is beautiful. Let's add that. Like I said, if I actually want to see now what the vibe of this shot was in situation, I can click here and go to watch. And I recommend you do this, because rather than just pulling one shot from one spot, you can kind of begin to see how that filmmaker designed their spot. This is really beautiful. Who did this? Oh, Oliver Miller. Yeah, of course. Ollie's an incredible DP. Had the pleasure of trying to win a pitch with him that I did not win, but Oliver is very talented, as you can see here. So you can see I could just download this if I actually want to use that further for my references inside Adobe Premiere or Resolve. If I want to begin editing those together, I'm just going to download that and use it for later. Kind of what I find too halfway through shot listing here on FrameSet is I add almost too much to my projects, and then that helps me come back in here and begin to make hard decisions of what I actually want to keep in my spot. I don't love this shot now. And for me, actually, I would then, rather going to this wide, that's too epic and we're moving away, I kind of want to just cut to here and then let's get into the car motion. You can see I can begin to shaping the edit here. If I'm the DP, I might just be offering up different aesthetic options for my director. But if I'm the director, I'm also kind of beginning to craft my spot here. You can do up to 10 searches on FrameSet before you get the paid program, so you can reset that every day. 10 isn't a ton, like you could get some creativity going on, but as you can see, I've already blown through 10 in just a few minutes. But it's a great way for you to just kind of mess around and see if you like the platform. I highly recommend it. It's a great investment for DPs and directors. And I really believe this. Nick Plucky said this in our Cinepath Pro course, is great DPs should also be good editors. Doesn't mean you have to be a great editor. Doesn't mean you're a full-time editor. But as a cinematographer, as a creative who's behind the camera, you really need to understand how the shots are flowing together. I really truly wish I had this when I was doing the Trails of Dust film, because I was out there with toy cars and the team trying to explain which way the camera would move. Had I had this platform when I was making that, I could have shown them some of the moves I was thinking. Like this here. Wow, that's incredible. Let's go to this here. I don't know if it's going to give me more camera moves like that. Yeah, it's kind of giving me that. This is nice. This is kind of a moment I did do with the athletes in Trails of Dust. And so this is something I could have brought to set. By the way, there's this spot I came across a week ago. I think I have it in my favorites. This one right here. Go to title. This is this spot for Ram called It Is Not Enough. And it is emphatically the most insanely epic car commercial I've seen. You can tell this is the director's cut because there's really nothing to do with the car in this. Like, kudos to Gonzalo Oliviero. This is insane work, but this is like dystopian. You just have these like this shot right here. Like, how did you do this? This can't just be Artem smokers out there. This is the most epic running shot on this lake. Then this no client wants to see their truck do this, like bottom out. Maybe they do. Full attack in the car. This is incredible. There's no features. There's no Apple CarPlay. There's no backup cam. This is just saying your RAM can survive the apocalypse. I'm impressed. And this is kind of what you're going to get from a library that's more focused on the commercial work. You may see a sequence like that in a film, but I feel like film, you're talking about more long form narratives. So you're having more locked off shots. You're having a slower pace, which can work for certain spots. But typically in a commercial, it's high energy, it's engaging, really quick cuts. So since making the mistakes on my projects where I just came with a couple shots written down and hoped that these things would cut together, hoped that the time of day would line up, the more work I've been able to do up front, the more freedom I've had on set. So whether or not you're using a program like FrameSet, I highly recommend for you even just to get your iPhone out and go record a couple shots of motion and see if they cut together. You don't want to leave the idea of, does shot A cut with shot B and does it flow well? So I can't reiterate it enough. Your insights in pre-production will create freedom on set. I was just in a tiny little forum with Roger Deakins and his wife James and Adam Madzerick, and they were talking about pre-production. And James gets everything listed down, shot listed, but then also comes up with a lighting plot. And they do that so that they know where the lights are on set, so that they then can explore a bit once they get there. They know how it's going to look. They know where the camera's going to be, but then they get to have some freedom to play. And that's because they're doing pre-production up front. But then I highly recommend still that you try some new crazy stuff, because you never know how it's going to be able to cut. I just love that I feel like I'm always learning as a filmmaker, that their chance to actually improve my work is endless. So get out there, get shooting. I hate goodbyes, but I love Apple Care. Just smashed my lens, but I'm going to go get it fixed at the mall right now. That's the one insurance I will always get, is Apple Care, because I raw dog it without an iPhone case. And so I'm always smashing this. Toodles. See you on the next one.
Free audio post-production by alphonic.com.